I've had 3 separate conversations this month with buyers who are about to make the same mistakes. Different budgets, different families, and different timelines, but the exact same suburb on their shortlist. And in every single case, when we ran the real numbers together, they pulled back. Not because the area is a disaster on the surface, but because the full picture of what it actually costs to live there is something most buyers never see. Today I'm going to show you 3 Toronto suburbs that look like a smart upsizer moves on paper, but will quietly drain your finances, your time, and your quality of life once you actually start living there. I'm talking about hard data that should stop you dead in your track before you make the move that you will regret for the rest of your life. Let's get into it. Number 1 is Brampton. Brampton is one of the most searched suburbs for Toronto upsizers every single year. The detached homes are larger, the price tags are lower than most of the 905, and it feels accessible in a way that Oakville or Richmond Hill doesn't. But here is what the listing price will never show you. Brampton ranks last for auto insurance out of 194 Ontario communities. The average annual premium in Brampton is $3,848. That is 38% higher than the provincial average and 30% higher than what you're paying right now if you live in Toronto. That breaks down to $321 every single month in auto insurance alone. On top of that, Brampton homeowners just absorbed an 8.4% increase in their total property tax bill. In 2025, a 2.9% city increase stacked on top of a 5.5% region of Peel increase. And the 2026 budget added another 111 on top of that. And transit projects, including the long-promised Queen Street BRT, have been frozen because the city is projecting zero development charge revenue this year. So your taxes are going up and the infrastructure you were promised is not getting built. Then there is crime reality. Brampton's crime index sits at 62.77. For context, Toronto is 48.37 and Markham is 27.34. A 2026 safety ranking placed Brampton 7th most dangerous city in Canada with approximately 9,100 criminal occurrences per 100,000 residents. Carjackings are trending upward, and because insurance companies use exactly this data to set your premiums, the two problems are directly connected. The crime rate is a big part of why your insurance costs what it does. And then there is commute. Brampton to downtown Toronto is one of the 10 worst commutes in Canada at over an hour with delays. The roads are congested, the BRT that was supposed to fix it is stalled, and the population is growing faster than the city can manage. Number 2 is Oshawa. Oshawa has been marked to Toronto upsizers as the East End answer. Big detached homes, prices well under $1 million in many pockets, and enough distance from the city to actually feel like you've escaped. I know exactly why families look east. Let's start with the schools. Durham Region schools are currently in crisis. Students across the region are learning in gymnasium, staff rooms, and libraries because there are not enough classrooms. Deferred infrastructure maintenances also have created safety issues so serious that in 2023, staff at a North Oshawa school walked off the job over concerns for students and staff safety. Schools are struggling with funding for basic technology, extracurricular programs, and special education services. If you are upsizing specifically because you want a better environment for your kids, better school, more stability, and a real classroom, Oshawa is not delivering that right now. Now the healthcare situation. As of 2024, over 80,000 Durham Region residents had no family doctor. That number is projected to reach 152,000 people without a doctor by 2026. Average wait times for some essential surgeries are now over 200 days. That is more than 6.5 months. If you're moving with a young family or with anyone who has an ongoing health needs, you need to understand what you're moving into before you sign anything. And then there is the commute reality. Oshawa to downtown by GO Transit is 70 to 88 minutes. By car outside rush hour, it's about 45 to 70 minutes, and during rush hour, that number climbs higher. The infrastructure deficit in Durham Region also flows directly to you as the homeowner through more property tax increase that have been approved specifically to play catch up on services that should have been built years ago. You're not buying into an established community, you're buying into a city mid-correction, paying the bill for its growth and inheriting a school and a healthcare system that is under serious strain. Oshawa's fundamentals are not dead forever, but right now in 2026, you are paying to live in the middle of a problem that is not yet solved. Number 3 is Milton. Milton is the one on this list that will surprise the most people because Milton has a reputation that still hasn't caught up with its current reality. And that gap between reputation and reality is exactly what's costing Toronto upsizers money right now. The pitch on Milton has always been affordable, family-friendly, good access to Toronto, newer builds, room to breathe, and for a long time that pitch was accurate. But here is where it stands in 2026. Average home prices in Milton are down approximately 10% year over year, sitting around at $964,000 as of March 2026. Asking prices are also down 15% since March 2025. The affordability advantages that originally drew buyers west from Toronto has largely eroded. Milton is now the 17th most expensive market in the GTA, and you're not escaping Toronto prices anymore. You're paying a version of them in a community that still has most of the limitations of a car-dependent suburb. And the car dependency is the second major problem. Milton is still almost entirely car dependent. The GO train runs on Milton line, but all-day two-way services has not been delivered yet. Local bus routes run every 35 to 40 minutes. And if one or more both of you is commuting to Toronto without a car, Milton simply does not work. And if you're driving, Highway 401 and Highway 25 experiences heavy congestion during rush hour. Commute times to downtown Toronto ranges from 35 minutes on a good day to 75 minutes in traffic. That is a significant daily time cost for a suburb that is now barely more affordable than the areas most buyers are trying to live. The third problem is the one almost nobody's talking about. Milton's population is currently around 122,000. Long-term projections put the eventual population at over 400,000. The infrastructure, roads, schools, transit services is already showing strain at current levels. You're buying into the early stages of explosive population growth in a community where the services have not kept pace with what's there today, let alone what's coming. That growth will continue to put pressure on quality of life and on your property's resale appeal to the next generation of buyers who will be doing the same calculation you're doing right now. Milton can work for the right buyer with the right timeline and the right situation, but walking into it because you think it's still the affordable small town it used to be is how people end up overpaying for a lifestyle that doesn't deliver what they expected. Here is what all three of these suburbs have in common. They all look reasonable at the point of purchase. The listing price is reasonable, the neighborhood photos look clean, and the pitch makes surface level sense for a Toronto family looking for more space. And the pitch makes sense on the surface for a Toronto family looking for more space. What they all hide is a second number: the total cost of living there. The insurance premium, the property tax trajectory, the commute hours, the school reality, the healthcare gaps, the infrastructure burden you're inheriting. And in every single case, the second number tells a completely different story than the listing price does. This is exactly the conversation I have with every buyer before they start booking showings. Not just what it does to cost to buy, but what does it cost to live there? Because those are two very different questions, and only one of them determines whether you actually made a good move. If you want to run those real numbers on your specific situation, what your current property is worth, what your budget actually gets you, and which suburbs genuinely make sense for your family right now, book a complimentary call using the link below. We'll go through it together. No pressure, just a full picture so you can make the right decision. And if you want to see which suburbs are actually worth looking at for Toronto upsizers in 2026, click the video on the screen and I'll see you there.